conversation, and it is disconnected from the reality of our situation. It is important that the next generation of Jamaicans are grounded in our struggle and understand it. And do not argue in public debates as if public finances just appear from out of the air, or there is some reserve money that is out there somewhere that the government can just reach in and take. Everything that we have, which is known as the budget, comes from you, all of you. Whether it is your GCT, your income tax, or the other taxes that you pay, or the other fees. The ability of the government to spend depends on the revenues it gets from the economy. And if the economy isn't doing well, the government cannot spend. 10 years ago, our debt to GDP was at 150%. You know what that means? The economic students inside here will immediately know what that means. Right? I see Martin Luther King is smiling because you're an economic student. Precise. I'd ask you to explain. Come on, explain it. Come on.
I'm not sure if I can explain this properly for you.
No, but explain it for them.
Oh, God. So basically, we owe 150% to GDP.
10 years ago.
10 years ago. So, well, obviously that means we owe them a lot of money. So, yeah, at more than what we have. So
more than what we produce.
Yeah,
yes.
more than what we produce. Plus, on top of that, so we're very, very bad in debt. So, yeah, it just means that we owe more than what we produce, plus half of that, and we have to somehow make that back so we can get out of debt.
So it's the foundation of the explanation. Today, our debt to GDP ratio is somewhere in the region of about 78%. By the time we get to the next financial year, we will probably be about 74%. So I want you to understand the magnitude of what we have gone through. That's about 10 years ago. The country was really in a crisis. Through the sacrifice of your parents, who endured new taxation almost every year, no budget to repair roads, no budget to invest in healthcare, no budget to invest in public transportation, no budget to invest in garbage collection, no budget to build the auditorium that you're asking for. No budget to pay increased wages to our public servants. In our economic psychology, term I'm coining, or rather, in the political economy of Jamaica, if the government didn't have tax revenues, then we could borrow. And for many years, governments existed on borrowing. That's how we ended up at 150% of what we were producing. But that's not the complete story. The debt also increased because we had something called FinSac, the collapse of the financial sector, and government had to take private debt and make it public debt. But there were also poorly run public sector entities. Some of you may remember Air Jamaica, Sugar Company, NWC. All of those debts had to be brought on to the public account. Jamaica reached a tipping point, a crisis point, where we had to say we're going to be fiscally responsible. And you know what the word fiscal means. It means we must be responsible in how we arrange our public financing. It means we can't spend more than we are earning. So there are many persons who like to think that there's no connection between our output and our expenditure. There is an immutable connection between what we produce and what we are able to spend. And if we start to disregard that, then we're going to go back to borrowing. I don't want the next generation to think that way. You who will occupy the public space and lead public discourse must totally eliminate that from your consciousness and challenge those who speak like that.